Hello and thank you for joining us again at Easy Cooking. Today I'm going to make a very special recipe for cookies that I grew up with. I used to gobble those up quite a bit when I was a kid. That's why I was a little chubby too. But they're very good. If you are a peanut or walnut allergic, you may not be able to enjoy them, but trust me, if you are not allergic and you can make them, they're going to be a party favorite for anyone that can have them. They're very good, very light, and very delicious. There's quite a few recipes out there. I've made my own a little bit to get the flavor to where I want it to be exactly from my memory growing up. My mom never really had a recipe for those. We always bought them from the store because they were just so good. So I've pretty much made my own recipe out of combination of quite a few out there just to make sure it is as close as what I had growing up as a kid. Now before we get started, let's see what ingredients we need and we'll start making the cookies. Chopped walnuts, white sugar, egg whites,
white flour, cocoa powder, vanilla, egg wash for egg wash.
If you didn't catch that, that was egg whites for egg wash at the end. Now that we know what we need, first of all, we need to start with making sure we have some warm water on the stove top for us. We're gonna beat our egg whites and sugar over lukewarm water, not too hot. You just want to get the egg white foam that you usually get for meringues, and that's done over hot water sometimes. There's two methods for these cookies. We want to make sure to use this one. Also, start your oven on 300 Fahrenheit. We're going to do that right now because by the time we're done with the cookies, it will be just it'll be just warming up. Okay, almost there. Cool. So this is going to be warming up. We're going to be over there in a second. I'm going to grab my mixer. We're going to move to the stove top. But first, let's get our sugar. That's our first ingredient we're going to use today. Then we're going to get our 2 egg whites. The recipe doesn't make too many cookies. You can double it up if you'd like to. This we're going to be mixing just the same way we mix for meringues. But bear with me, I'll get my mixer and we'll get going. Here we are. Here's our water. Make sure it's not too hot. If it's too hot, it's going to cook your eggs, and you don't want that. My bowl is floating a little bit. You make sure just to support it with your hand so it's not dipping and running everywhere. So we're going to start mixing until we get meringue consistency, which is foam. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. I pre-mix a little bit so my sugar doesn't fly everywhere, and then we start. Okay, we're good. You want to get this consistency basically. It's almost like meringue consistency, not quite, but you want it to stay. I could beat it for a few more seconds, but this is good. You don't want to overbeat the eggs either. So you kind of want it to stay on your mixer. So we're pretty much done. And I'll go back to my counter. Well, it seems like our assistant chefs have gotten some accessories here to help them cook a little bit better. Hi Lily, I didn't know it rains in our house. Natalie, I didn't know we keep it at sub-zero temperature, but we're good. Okay, so we have our almost meringue cookie consistency, eggs and sugar. We can add the remaining ingredients at this point of time. We'll do the vanilla. Now most recipes don't call for powder, for cocoa powder. Some do. I'm using a fraction of what some of the recipes call for because I never really could taste the cocoa inside those cookies, but I like the color texture that it gives it and just a little bit of hint of cocoa when you're eating them, so but it's not overpowering. So I'm just using a fraction. We use just a little bit of flour, not too much, regular white flour, and our chopped walnuts. We dump everything in and we're going to use a spoon to mix it together. You don't want to use your mixer anymore. It's just gonna over mix things and it's gonna make your eggs a little more runny, and you don't want that. So we're gonna be careful. We're gonna mix it just enough so everything is well spread and well mixed.
Hi, Mom.
And my oven just warmed up actually, so perfect timing. This should be enough. That should be mixed well. This is what you want to get at the end, and I'm gonna get my cookie sheet. Basically, very basic cookie sheet with parchment paper on it so things don't stick. And we can just use the same spoon and place them on the cookie sheet. I don't really measure the size. I make them all kinds of sizes, but pretty much a spoonful. And we place it like this on the cookie sheet. Try to make them nice circles if you can, but it's not the end of the world if you can't. The flavor of the cookie speaks for itself, even if they're not perfect shaped. I'm gonna do that with the remaining.
Daddy, why are you doing
I hope I got a big enough cookie sheet. They will spread open, so they'll fall down, they'll kind of flatten and get a little bigger, so make sure to space them out. But if they stick to each other, that's okay. What's up, Natalie?
Daddy, why are you doing it with your finger?
Because that helps me
Daddy,
get the
what's that
cookies
good
on the
smell?
thing. Okay, what's that, Lily?
What's that good smell?
That's the cookies probably, I hope. Is it the cookies that you're smelling?
I think so.
Well, they have vanilla, cocoa, eggs and sugar.
I can smell it.
You can't smell. Giant one that will probably spread to the rest of them around it. We'll get a couple of decent ones. I'm just making them for home today, so I'm not too worried about them combining into one giant cookie. They'll get eaten anyway. And our last step here, to make sure you get a nice glaze on top, is 1 egg white, and we're gonna brush each cookie very carefully with a little bit of egg white on top.
Stop raining.
That will make them very nice and smooth on top with some very nice cookie cracks. We're gonna see at the end here.
What? The what? The what? This one. This one.
Are you Daddy's helper?
Daddy.
Yeah. Thank you, babe, for covering your face.
Wait. My time like an airplane. Yum yum. Put it down. Mom, put it down. Daddy, oh. That's well. I won't do it. I'm going to go more so fast. Daddy got batter on the counter.
That's okay, we'll clean it.
Daddy, do you have more batter in your bucket?
No.
Oh, finished already. There's just a little bit.
Yep.
Little bit poo. Probably 4 for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to have one too.
Of course. Okay, and we're done. Now we're gonna put them in the oven for 15 minutes and let them cool. I usually put them on my top rack. My oven tends to get hot on the lower racks a little more, so I don't want to burn the bottoms of my cookies. They're in 300 degrees, 15 minutes, and I'll see you in a few. Our timer just went off, so we're gonna get their cookies. I'll show them to you. And let me get this one too. And we're gonna let them cool. this is what the end result is. Now they're very hot and they're gonna need to cool before we take them off the sheet because they're gonna be a little hard to get off when they're warm. So I'm gonna let them sit here.
Yummy.
This is the end result. We'll come back when they're cold enough, maybe give it about half hour to an hour, and we'll give them a try.
Yummy, yummy.
Our cookies cooled off enough. I managed to get them off the cookie tray. Hey Natalie. Scusi babe. This is what the cookies look like when they're all done and off the cookie sheet. They are very soft, so be careful taking them off of there. But they're very good. At the end of the day, you're gonna love them. They crumble up fast and easy, so you really have to be careful. But they are just so worth it. Trust me when I say that. If you have a party and nobody's allergic to walnuts, these cookies are going to disappear very quick. They're so good. They're very fluffy. They're very moist, soft. Perfect cookies for entertaining. I can eat the whole tray by myself. But they're not very healthy cookies. They're not your lightweight. I mean, they're mainly sugar and walnuts, so gotta be careful when you start crunching on them. But they're very good. I used to eat quite a bit of those when I was growing up. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed them. Natalie, how's the cookies?
Good.
You want more? Grab some. Num num num. As you can see, they're everybody's favorite. I hope you enjoy them. Send me pictures and comments if you'd like to. Pictures of our recipes that you make. We always appreciate. And enjoy your day. Mmm.
Yummy.
Perfect.
It's good, Boba.
Here. Right in your mouth.